All right, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and get started, even though we're missing several this morning. I know. Feel like it's President's Day all over again.
You got a link with us today.
I know.
It was more people on President's Day.
I feel like it. All right, y'all have a test on,
Next week.
you okay, Tamika? You have a test on Wednesday.
Next week.
This Wednesday, in 2 days.
You said we hadn't had them by the day, right?
So our,
I got like.
What if we figure that?
so 50% is what our goal is this week. So 50% or higher is what I want you to be at this week. The higher you are, the better.
I got 7 more.
Do what? On Wednesday? I'll get you to take it today. Yeah, if you know you're not gonna be here on Wednesday, I'll get you to take it today. But this is scheduled assessment number 2. That means we're about halfway through the semester. 50% is where I want you to be. Okay, and y'all, your grade in the pie is what your grade is right now in the semester. So, if your pie says 72, then that's your grade in the class this semester. So as the grade gets higher, girls, as the grade gets higher, your grade in the class gets higher. So if your pie says 38, then that's what your grade is in this class right now.
Oh, Lord.
That's why I keep saying, your pie needs to get juicier. So ultimately, you need to end up in this class with your pie grade an 80 or higher and a scheduled assessment an 80 or higher in order to get out of here. That is your ultimate grade, to get out of this class. Your pie needs to be an 80 or higher, and at least one scheduled assessment needs to be an 80 or higher. But if I can get your pie up to 100, then that scheduled assessment doesn't have to be an 80. It can be a little bit lower because the average has to be an 80. So that's why I keep stressing, is the juicier I can make your pie, we can fudge a little bit on the scheduled assessment.
Okay.
Your pie counts for 25% of your grade. Your scheduled assessment counts for 75% of your grade. Okay? Now, even if you haven't gotten into it yet, we are going to be talking about geometry today. This is Module 3. So if you're in it, fine. If you're not in it, fine, because you are going to see geometry on your scheduled assessment. So if you haven't gotten in it and you get some stuff right, you can make your pie juicier when you see it on your test. So we need to put away our phones, we need to put away computers, and we need to listen. Phones, we need to listen. So if you've done it, fine. If you haven't done it, fine. Everybody needs to listen. The first thing, and most of us know this, but the first thing that we need to talk about is perimeter. Now, on your formula sheet, you do have a formula for perimeter, but I don't look at it. What does perimeter mean to y'all?
Around the edge.
Add up the edges, add up the sides. And there is even a word, y'all, inside perimeter that reminds me that. Rim. Perimeter. And y'all even said it, edges. Add up the edges, add up the rim. So when I do perimeter, I don't even think about a formula. I just say add up all the sides. Perimeter, add up all the sides. So all I want to do is I want to add up all the sides. So for this first one, it says perimeter. So I am just going to start at one place and I'm going to add up all the sides. Now, when you're doing perimeter, your units are going to be plane. So if the problem is inches, your answer is going to be inches. So perimeter has plane units. So inches, feet, yards, miles, whatever. So the way that I remember it, P for perimeter stands for P for plane units. So whatever the units are for perimeter is just gonna be plane, inches, feet, yards, miles, whatever. Are we good? Now, if I bring up your formula sheet for just a second, on the back side of your formula sheet, let me get my little snipping tool. On the back side of your formula sheet, you have this right here, and it says the perimeter of a polygon is the sum of the lengths of its sides. Sum means add the sides. Perimeter just means many sides. Like if you're a polygamist, you have many wives, many spouses. So a polygon just has many sides. So the perimeter just means add the sides. Add the lengths of the sides. I don't even look at those two. I never look at formulas unless I have to use them. Are we good? That's perimeter. Perimeter has plane units, and perimeter just means add up the sides. Now, this next thing we're gonna do haunts some people to the day they die, but I am gonna try to make it as easy as I can. Find the missing side. Some of you are really good at this, and some of you suck at this. So I want to make it as simplistic as I can. If the big bad wolf came and blew this house to the side, we are trying to find this wall. So that wall is an up and down wall. So we are only going to look at the up and down sides. We don't look at the flat sides. We only look at up and down because we're trying to find an up and down. So if the big bad wolf came and blew over, this 6 would blow into that wall, and this 4 would blow into that wall. Okay? So if I take this side and blow into that side, do you agree that's a 6? And if I take this 4 and blow over, so the total length of that wall is going to be what? 10. And let me clone it and move it over so that you can kind of see the original problem. So we're only looking at up and down lines if it is an up and down line. So I blew those two sides over because those two baby walls have to make the big wall. The two baby walls have to make the big wall. Let's look at another one. All right, this time we have a flat wall. So because we have a flat wall, we are only going to look at the flat sides. So if this goes straight up and this goes straight up, how long is my whole wall going to be? So if this comes up, that piece is 6. If this comes straight up, that piece is 8. So my whole wall is going to be 14. And they do it crazy. They make you do all this cutting and making different shapes and craziness. So if you're dealing with the flat line, you only use the flat numbers. If you're dealing with the up and down line, you only use the up and down numbers. So for this one, I was dealing with flat. So I brought those two flats up, and that gave me the total flat. Okay, and this just says find the missing side. Let's Let's look at this one. This says find the perimeter. And we just talked about perimeter means add all sides. Well, we have a problem. We are missing a side. So before we can get that perimeter, we have to find that missing side. Now, that missing side is an up and down. Him and him have to add up to 13. So this piece and this piece have to equal 13. So if I brought him over, I don't know. If I brought him over, he's 5. So I have to say, what plus 5 equals the total of 13? So the missing side is going to be 8. Now I can add them all up. So when I add them up, it's going to be this, 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 and that. Yes.
I'm kind of not confused, I am confused. How do I know that the top is not the missing side? From, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, because that one had a number on it. Let me draw. Hold on.
Okay.
Let me add a page for a second.
Yeah, keep from getting confused with me. myself.
Yeah. Let's do this. Let me do 10, 4, and 5, and 7. Okay, how many missing sides do I have?
Yeah,
One,
one.
two, sorry, two.
I have 2 missing sides.
Okay.
One, no.
I have this missing side.
Uh-huh.
Let's start with that one first. And my other missing side, do we agree, is down here? And they're missing because they don't have a number on them.
Okay, I see what you're saying, I got you.
So this one is missing,
Okay.
and then the other one we're gonna find in just a minute is this one. So let's start with the red one. Okay? The red one, I drew it too tall. The red one is up and down, and this one is up and down. So if I take those 2 up and downs and I slide them over, those 2 have to equal 10. We can't just say, oh, those look like they're the same length. Those 2 have to equal 10. So what is the red one? 5. Now, if I take the, let me move it down so I can reach it. To get the blue one, the blue one is flat. So that means that 7 and 4 have to equal that total. So that side's going to be 11. So sometimes, sometimes I'm going to give you the 2 babies and they add up to be the whole one. Sometimes I'm going to give you the whole one and a baby and you've got to get the other baby. Does that make sense? Do you want me to do another one?
Sort of, do another.
Because these are going to show up everywhere.
Do another one.
Okay.
Wait with it.
I missed
Okay.
the flash over there.
I gotcha. Let me get that one out of the way so we can't cheat. Okay, how many missing sides do I have?
1, 2.
I have 2.
On top and then
the one on the top,
On the side.
and the one that's on the side. So I have this one that we're gonna find, and I have this one that we're gonna find. Do y'all wanna find green or blue first? Okay, I heard green. Okay, green is flat. So we're only looking at the flat sides. So 7 and 10 is gonna make that one 17. And if I need to, I can do a little highlighter. 7 and 10 gave me 17 for that side. You with me?
Gotcha.
Now, this one is a up and down. So I only deal with up and down numbers.
So it'd be 5.
So 5 plus 4 gives me the 9. Because if this piece is 4
That's nine.
and this piece we don't know, they have to make a total of 9. So 4 plus what gives me 9? That's where they're getting the 5 from. So this piece is gonna be 5. Feeling it a little more? Okay. Now, let me go to this one. So the ultimate answer was they didn't want the missing side, they wanted the perimeter.
Okay.
So they wanted you to do 4 plus 13 plus 10 plus 5 plus 6 plus 8. And then whatever your answer was, it was gonna be plain yards. Cool? Same thing for this one. They wanna know the perimeter. So ultimately your answer is going to be when you add up all the sides. But we have a little issue. Our issue is we are missing a side. It is a flat side, so we only look at flat sides. That's a flat side and that's a flat side. So 6 plus this have to equal 16.
10.
So this has to be 10. Did it just click lucky? I just saw it like your light bulb come on. So this is going to be 10. So that's not my answer. It didn't say find the missing side. It said find the perimeter. So to get the perimeter, I am going to add up all my sides. So my perimeter is going to be 6 plus 9 plus 10 plus 4 plus 16 plus 13. And when I do perimeter, my answer is going to be whatever the units are, plain. Feeling it? Okay. Now, keeping on that same path, I'm going to skip around just a little bit because I kind of know what y'all see on Alex. Have we seen these yet? Oh, I love these. Now, these are like puzzles to me. There's 3 rules that you have to know when you're doing these. You have to know that when you're inside a triangle, those angles add up to 180. You have to know that when you have 2 angles that make a straight line, those add up to 180. And if you have angles that are diagonally across, they are the same. They kind of look like butterfly wings. Okay, those are the 3 rules we have to use. Now, these are like a puzzle. I'm getting that look. Hold on. The 3 angles inside a triangle add up to 180. The 2 angles that make a straight line add up to 180. And angles that are diagonally across from each other that look like butterfly wings, those are equal to each other. Now, wherever X is, you work towards it. So X is on this side, so we're going to work towards it. It's like hopscotch. You're just going to jump around from angle to angle until you get to where you need to be. So I'm gonna start over here. Now, looking at just this, can you see that this angle and this angle make a straight line? Can y'all see that? For those of you who can't look, because you're seeing the big picture, let me show you this. Oops, not that one. Well, right there. You see those two angles make a straight line. So what do those two angles have to add up to be? 180. So this angle plus this angle have to add up to 180 because they make a straight line. So I'm going to do 180 minus 150, and that's going to give me that this angle right here is 30 degrees. Cool? So I just hopscotched inside the triangle. And that's the magic word. I'm now inside the triangle. So I'm going to come over here just to kind of get you away from the main picture. You have a 30 degree there, and you have a 34 degree there, and you're trying to solve that. So we are inside the triangle, which means all of these have to add up to 180. So 30 plus 34 plus x has to equal 180. So what most of y'all do is you say, if I start out with 180, and I subtract the 34 and I subtract the 30, then I should be left with x. So I'm going to start out with 180, which is what the whole triangle is. Subtract the 34 and subtract the 30, there's my answer. So I didn't have to use the butterfly rule on this one. So x is going to be 116 degrees. I use the straight line and I use the triangle. Ready to get harder?
I understand,
All right, let's look at this one. Now, this time x is in the middle. So I work towards x. So I'm going to come in from this side and I'm going to come in from this side. Doesn't matter where you want to start. Do you want to start over here or do you want to start over here? The left or the right? Okay, he said the left. We need to jump inside the triangle. So what do we know about these two angles?
Subtract 180 from 120.
They make a straight line, so we're going to subtract it from 180. So Randy told us that they make a straight line.
so you subtract.
So this angle, so I'm going to do 180 because it's a straight line, minus the 112. What is it, 58? 68, thank you. That gives me 68. Well, I have gotten as close as I can get on this side. So now I'm going to come over here. Now, I want to jump in the triangle. Do you see your butterfly? Girls, let's stop talking. Boys, let's stop. So, just so that I can kind of show you what it looks like. There's your butterfly. So, if this is 38, what is that going to be? That one's going to be 38 as well. Because wings of a butterfly look alike.
Can't have a big man look like.
There you go. So we're now inside this triangle. And I'm going to pull this off to the side so you can kind of see it. You have a 30 up there, and you have a 38 there, and we're trying to solve for that angle.
So you subtract
From,
180.
so we're going to do 180 minus the 38 minus the 30. Somebody with a calculator. What's 180 minus 38 minus 30?
112.
Thank you. 112. Okay, so I have finished that triangle. I jumped in the triangle and I finished the triangle. Now I got to jump over here. So I'm here, but I need to jump over here. What did those two angles make?
Butterfly.
We're not doing this.
Straight line.
Straight line.
A butterfly, and that's, a lot of people do that. A butterfly would be here. These two make a straight line. So how many degrees are in a straight line? 180. So I'm going to draw my straight line here, and I'm trying to find that one. So how am I going to get that angle?
Subtract
Right.
180.
180 minus the 112 is going to give me 68. But y'all, it's not, it doesn't always happen that those angles are the same thing. You just got lucky. Those are not always the same thing. Now we are in another triangle. We are in this triangle with a 68 and a 68, and we're trying to find that. So how do I get that one?
Add those two together and minus one.
180 minus 68 is going to give me 44. There's your answer. It's like hopscotch. You jump over, and it makes a straight line. But you're always working towards X. You jump in the triangle to complete the triangle. You jump over to the next triangle to complete the triangle. But you have 3 rules to use. The triangle rule, the straight line rule, and the butterfly rule. Aren't these fun? The more you do, aren't they easy? Don't they get easier? The more you do them. I'm trying to pick out some that I know that you're going to see on your test. All right. Alex loves these. I love them too, but the way my math lab teaches them is crazy. Randy got stuck on these last week. Wednesday. Find the area of the piecewise function. The way Alex does is it cuts them up into small pieces. The way Miss Cooper does is I do it a little bit differently. Okay? Now, I'm going to show you, I'm just going to keep the original picture. Let me send it to the back so that you can kind of have the original picture. Now, here is what I do to make it a little bit easier. I close in the shape. See how it now looks like this? Okay. Then I cut out the corner. Makes it a whole lot easier than the way Alex teaches it. So, because we're doing area, we have to know a formula for area. Perimeter we've already talked about. Perimeter means add up the sides. So I don't care what it looks like, you add up the sides. Area, you must know a formula. So on my formula sheet, I have all the formulas written for you. So down here, we have all the area formulas right here. So I have all the formulas that you need to know. And right now, I'm trying to keep it easy for you. What shape is this original one? A rectangle or a square. What shape is this one? A rectangle or a square, the same thing. So, most of us know the formula for an area for a rectangle or square is length times width, right? Now, when you're doing these, you're going to do the area of the outside shape minus the area of the inside shape. Now, here's my outside shape. Here's my inside shape. Now, they're both rectangles, so we're going to do length times width. So, I need to know the length and the width of the outside shape and the length and the width of the inside shape. What is the length and the width of the outside shape? The outside shape, the yellow shape. 6 times 5. 6 and 5 are the whole length and the whole width of the outside shape. What's the length and the width of the inside shape? This is the inside shape. 3 times 3. Now, I have a lot of people say, why are you subtracting them, Ms. Cooper? Subtracting is taking away. Taken away. Adding is like putting Legos together.